All right, good afternoon. This is referee Brian Nicholas with Macomb County Family Court. And we're here today on the case of Shalinsky versus Tetru, case number 2019-0887DZ. And who do I have on the telephone today?
Brian Shalinsky.
Hi.
No, sir, you're not on the I have someone on the telephone only. And who do I have on the telephone?
Leanne Michelle Tetro.
All right. And sir, your name for the record?
Brian Lee Shalinsky.
All right. I want to thank both parties for appearing via Zoom today. Please realize, even though you're remote, this is a legal proceeding, just as if you guys were here and present in the courtroom. Do either one of you guys have any questions regarding that this is a legal proceeding today?
No.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. And ma'am, we're here today on your emergency motion requesting modification of custody and parenting time of your son. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is the name and age of your son?
Brighton Colt Shalinsky, and he just turned 5 on the 26th of July, or 25th, sorry.
Okay. All right. And so, ma'am, this is your opportunity to indicate to the court why you're requesting a modification of custody and parenting time. Then Mr. Shalinsky, you'll be able to respond once Ms. Tetru is finished with her argument, okay?
Okay.
Your Honor, I just feel that Mr. Shalinsky has some work to do as far as with maybe taking some parenting classes. He sometimes says inappropriate things around our child. He has sent me multiple concerning videos and pictures, which I've provided to the court. Most recently, it was about 4 or 5 days ago, my son called my grandmother and it was on speakerphone. Mr. Shalinsky was there and I had an opportunity to speak to my child. And while he was talking to me, he asked if I, once again, a couple things, but most recently, he asked if I hate his father. And of course I said, no, you know, you're part of your dad. And then he said, well, my dad hates you because you're a drug addict and that's why I don't get to see you. And I heard Brian laugh at that, which is completely inappropriate. He just turned 5 years old. He should not even know these words to say them. And for a parent to laugh at something like that is completely appalling to me. And obviously my son, this is really weighing on him because he's brought this up the last few times that I've spoke to him. Also, you know, I don't feel like Brian has like the capability of nurturing him as he should. He's brought our son to my home a couple of times when he's been very sick. You know, I walked outside one of the last times. My son was throwing up apparently, and Brian called me from the vehicle, and he thought he was up, and I heard him calling my son stupid and calling me names because he couldn't make his vomit and get it into the bag that he gave him to throw up in. So he pulled in my driveway, and I was waiting because of what happened on the phone. And when I walked out, and was standing there doubled over holding his belly. His father didn't try to pick him up, didn't carry him in the house, just left him standing there and was like, come on, let's go. So I ran out and picked him up. You know, it's just incidences like that have taken place consistently over the last 3 years. And I feel like, you know, Brian was required to take some kind of classes. He was also required to take a domestic violence course. And I feel like he needs to focus on himself a little bit, maybe get some therapy for, you know, stuff he went through as a child with his mother, so that he is, you know, safe for our son.
Yeah. That's okay. My God.
So, sir, don't comment while she's making her argument. Okay.
Okay.
You know, there's
All right. Anything else, ma'am?
No, I would just like
Go
to
ahead.
add that, you know, I spoke to Brian a few recent occasions I've spoken to him. He's made comments about how he hates women and just very derogatory comments. And that's been consistent with him as well. And if that's the way he feels about his child's mother, then to co-parent and to do that in a healthy way for our son is almost impossible at this point. And that's truly how I feel.
Okay. So before you respond, sir, let me ask a couple questions here. So, ma'am, you recently refused to return your son to his dad, correct? Your son missed his last 2 weeks of kindergarten and his graduation. Is that correct?
I did refuse to return him. He's not in kindergarten daycare. He did make his graduation, but I had him in the hospital. I took him to the hospital. And the doctor who I showed like some of the videos to him, they looked over his body, they spoke to us, and they contacted CPS like immediately and sent them to Mr. Schlinsky's home. And I was waiting until the investigation concluded. I was waiting, and then I was going to file a motion with the court. I was
Okay,
nervous
so let's start there. I'm a little confused because you provided me a exit summary from the doctor's office, and they said your son was healthy and fine.
Yes. Well, at the time when it was looked over.
So how are they calling protective services if your son, the case summary is that he's healthy and fine?
Oh, yeah, no, it says right there that they contacted CPS and had an investigation. It says it in the summary.
I know, but is that based
time,
on your? So let me make a comment, and we're going to take this part by part because this matter has been going on for a couple months now. So you had an order to return your son. You refused.
Yeah.
An order got entered by this court. You chose not to appear at a hearing here. On June 12th, an order entered that law enforcement was to help retrieve your son. When they got to your home, you refused to let them have your son. Is that correct? The law enforcement.
They came on the 14th, and Brian did retrieve my son on the 14th. There was a hearing, but I missed.
I'm talking. You're talking the 14th of what?
The 14th of June.
Of July.
Or July, yes. I'm sorry. Yes, the 14th of July.
Yeah, but you had your son for several weeks prior to that, correct?
I had him since May 28th.
Right. So you at May 28th, you decided to refuse to honor the orders of the court, come to court, and then when law enforcement came after June 12th, you refused to give them the child to Mr. Schlinsky, even though the court said they were there with a court order to retrieve your son, and you said no. Am I correct?
Yes, they were supposed to be contacting CPS, so we were waiting until they got a call back from
So let me ask this. Let me ask this. Mr. Schlinsky and Mr. Schlinsky, I'm going to get into some questions for you later, so don't get all happy here with me questioning her. So the police report from that date, ma'am, says that your son came out covered in ketchup and they thought it was blood. Your house had a shattered big screen TV in the living room, the kitchen table and chairs overturned, and the walls covered with ketchup. And you advised law enforcement that you were moving out. So you decided to let your son paint on the walls with bottles of ketchup. Is that correct?
Okay. That is okay. This is what happened. Yes, I was moving out. There was no shattered TV in the living room that was outside by the road. There was some wall where the TV was, where the drywall had gotten on the floor. And my son, I was not being serious when I said he thought he was finger painting or something. I was being like sarcastic, but no, he did get into the ketchup. When I was making food for them, he got it off of the island. The house was kind of a mess. But he got it off the island and squirted it out and put it on the walls. He did not have it on his body because I had already cleaned him up at the point when they got there, but it was still on the walls. I was letting it dry before cleaning it. I was not being like, oh, I just let him finger paint in it. But that's what I was like, apparently he thought he was going to finger paint or something. And that's not exactly how that went. But that did happen.
when did you eventually leave the residence?
It was a couple days after that.
Was it by eviction or was it by moving out?
Yeah. Well, it was, I own the trailer. I bought the trailer in 2000. I bought that in 2020, but it was an eviction from the lot because I could not, it was just from non-payment.
Okay.
And so
what date was that on?
The 14th.
Of July?
No,
Yes.
June.
But the order for the police to, okay. But the police, so Mr. Schlinsky, so correct, well, before you respond, so ma'am, correct me if I'm wrong. Mr. Schlinsky was aware this was happening. He was there. And when you got evicted, when he retrieved your child, when the police were assisting in your eviction, is that correct or wrong?
They were not assisting the eviction yet. They came with him and he got my child. And then it was later that we were evicted. But it was all within the same couple of days.
Okay. And what has Protective Services told you about any of these allegations against Mr. Schlinsky?
They never, I ended up, I was in the hospital for a week and a half following all of this when he took Brighton back to speak with me there. And they said that they did go to see my son at his house and that he appeared to be all right and that this is something that we would have to do with, that we'd have to take up with friends of the court.
So let me ask this, as I go through your motion, and we're going to get into this motion you filed here in a moment. At one place, you say that your son said he was being bathed by his dad and he punched him in the stomach so hard he heard cracking.
Yes.
Yet thereafter, he went to the doctors and his exit summary was that he was totally healthy with no injury. Do you understand there's a disconnect between that allegation and what the doctor's visit says?
I do, Your Honor, but Mr. Shalinsky had actually admitted that in front of me and my 14-year-old daughter. He said that he hit him in the stomach at a restaurant underneath the table because he wasn't listening. I don't believe that was the same incident, but my son did say that later on. But he did say that to me and my daughter both at my house. Brian showed up one day unannounced and was like, "You need to take him. I can't deal with it." And his reasoning was because Brighton was just like pushing all his buttons in. He said he hit him underneath the table at a restaurant, and it was at a Coney Island. He brought the food with him. He left because Brighton started crying. So we brought him to my house and dropped him off. This was sometime before.
So let's get into all of the various things you sent with your emergency motion. So is there a reason, by the way, that you didn't come to court in May or in June when that order got entered to have you return your child to his dad? Is there a reason you didn't come? Is there a reason you didn't object to that order in 21 days?
Yes, there is. Yes, I was in the hospital for the 12th. I was not in the hospital yet, but I was never served. Honestly, I never was served with that order. I did not. I was never served with his motion. And then I found out about the hearing. I believe it was on the 21st, but I was in the hospital at that time. I did not get released because Mr. Linsky also called and reported stuff to the police. I was arrested. I was in jail until the 7th for having a medication that was my own. It's already, they took my license.
Okay. So you got arrested for possession of some kind of medication they found on you, which they said you didn't have a prescription for.
They found out I did have a prescription for it. Yeah.
Okay. So are you aware that you have a bench warrant for missing a parenting time show cause hearing on June 23rd?
No, I no longer have that. I did come into the court and I have a hearing on the 16th.
No.
Yeah,
okay. Stop, Mr. Schlins. Do you have a hearing on August 16th on the bench warrant?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Why did you miss the show cause hearing for failure to return?
I was in the hospital. I turned that into the JSO.
Okay. All right. Okay. So let's get into this motion. Did you guys both get the August order of the judge regarding the nude photos attached to the motion?
Yes.
Okay. So guys, and let me be clear. So we're going to start out with this. So Mr. Shalinsky, you recently got an order for a month makeup parenting time for being denied parenting time. Is that correct?
I recently got one. I haven't gotten
one. Was that in the last few months?
Okay.
Wasn't she ordered to give you a month makeup parenting time?
Okay.
In like April or so?
Okay, back in March.
Stop. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, back in March when she kept them from me for the last 3 weeks of March, we went in front of you April 3rd. You ordered her to return them to me immediately. It took her 2 days to return them. She violated your order. I got him back. Then I had a show cause. I had to wait 2 weeks for her show cause where that judge, Dennings, ordered my makeup time. Okay, after the makeup time was served and she was able to see him again, and it was my turn to get him back, she refused to give him back to me.
Sir, I know. Stop. Okay. Take a breath. I'm asking a specific question. I'm not here. So I asked the question. Did you not appear in the last couple of months before Judge Dennings at a parenting time enforcement hearing where she gave you a bunch of makeup parenting time? You said, No, not recently. It was just like in April, you got a month makeup parenting time.
I got that, but there's more.
I want to stop. Okay, so more than that. So we're going to talk about this period of time. During this period of time, you sent Miss Tetru numerous videos of your son. Do you remember that?
I always
okay, well, stop. So let's start with these videos. The one was subject of an August because Miss Tetru converted that video of your now 5-year-old son naked touching himself, she converted to photos. One of which, I don't know why you're taking a video of your 5-year-old running around naked playing with himself and sending it to his mother. And ma'am, I don't know why you're converting it to pictures and sending it to the court. Let me be blunt to both of you. Unless you want to catch a child porn charge and distribute a child porn, don't take naked pictures of your child. So let's talk about that. So Mr. Solinsky, why did you take a video of your son naked playing with himself and send it to his mother during the period of your makeup parenting time? Why did you do that?
Okay, that wasn't during my makeup time. I took him to the Great Wolf Lodge before all this went down, okay? Before she was crazy and on her drugs, okay?
Okay,
so we went to the Great Wolf Lodge.
Get me to send me a new video of your son.
Okay, I always send her videos of what he's doing, you know, just the cute videos. Okay, so we went to the Great Wolf Lodge. We just got there. We checked in our room. We were changing our clothes to put on our bathing suits to go down to the water park. When he gets naked, he runs around like a goofball, and he was grabbing himself. I was recording him being goofy. I didn't realize he was like playing with his wiener like that. And I said, I told him to stop doing it. I have the video. I can bring the video in and show you. You'll see it's a harmless.
I don't want to see the video. I unfortunately had to look at the pictures in the video unsolicited when they were attached to a motion, and the judge entered an order telling you guys not to send nude pictures of a minor to the court. By the way, guys, listen to me real good. I don't give legal advice. You want to get charged with production of child porn or distribution, both of you. So whether it's right or wrong, ma'am, you can't print pictures and put a motion with numerous pictures of your nude son playing with his privates, and you should be taking the video. Do you guys got it? Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I got that. Okay.
I don't want to be looking through a motion. Stop. I don't want to be looking through a motion and suddenly flip through a motion and see numerous pictures of a nude minor. If you guys can't figure out what I'm saying, I'm not here to give legal advice. Go talk to an attorney or call up the prosecutors and see what they have to say. But sir, why are you sending her these kind of videos? One of her points in her motion is, I'm looking through this motion. She's converted these videos into pictures. There's numerous pictures. You're sending her a video of your son puking. Why are you sending her a video of your son puking?
No, I did not send her a video of him puking. She took that video herself and was making him puke. And I was told by her family members that she did that. And and they said that wasn't even puke. That was like eggs or something she put on a plate. He was
stop. We'll take one thing at a time. Ma'am, did he send you a video of your son puking or what?
Absolutely. Yes, he did. And the other video he sent after it, my son was under the bed in Brian's home. This is in my son's bedroom at Brian's house.
She's crazy.
At home.
None of that's true. She's lying again.
Sir, stop speaking one at a time. Guys, listen, I want you to stop. Stop talking while I talk. Guys, I'm going to tell you what. For some reason, it's on a roll today. Guys, appearing remotely is a privilege, not a right. If you cannot listen to me, if you keep talking over each other, if you keep arguing with the court or each other, I will rescind the ability to do this remote and make you come in person to impart on you, and you can sit in my courtroom. So do not talk over me. Do not interrupt each other. I don't need peanut gallery comments. I get it. You don't like each other. You got a lot going on here, but both of you are not free from criticism. And at some point, I'm going to say, is this situation so bad? I need, as a mandatory reporter, to call CPS on both of you. I'm trying to listen. If you guys are going to dismiss what I'm saying and saying, oh, she's bad, he's bad, you're not getting the big picture, because you guys are both doing some strange stuff here that is concerning to me. So, ma'am, so when I talk to her, whether you agree or not, and vice versa, I don't want you interjecting. So, ma'am, did he or did not send you a video of your son puking? And by the way, sir, if it's a video, she's got it. She can play it.
She made that
if she's got a video or not.
He made that video.
Yes, he did that video.
You made it and he didn't?
No, I did not make that video. My son was in his home. Brian is on the video even talking.
So, sir, why are you sending her videos Why are you sending her videos all the time of your son running around in his underwear, tired, under the bed? You have a video, pictures of you with him at the water lodge. You just got a month of makeup parenting time. Why are you sending her all these videos? What is the point of that?
Okay, the videos were sent before the makeup time, first of all. Two, The only inappropriate video is the one of where he was playing with himself, running around when we were going to get ready to go changing for the water park. That's it. I didn't send him no videos of him puking. I didn't, all that other videos she said, I didn't send her none of that stuff. If I'd like to see it, if she said I sent it, I didn't. Okay. I didn't send it. She's lying about it. And
so she made these videos herself and
now
is saying you made them to set you up.
Yep, exactly. She's been coercing my son and trying to get him against me too. She took the
let me ask this. So let me make a point before either one of you has to correct yourself. So guys, guess what? The background in these videos is one of your homes.
Yes.
Right? So sir, did you get a copy of her motion with all the pictures attached?
No.
So ma'am, did you send him a copy of this motion with all these attachments? You have to. You're required to.
Yes, I know. I did not, and I spoke. No, I did not. I spoke with the clerk. I was in fear that he was going to do something against me, so I tried to have ex parte.
Well, ma'am, how can he respond to all the things I'm saying in these pictures and videos if he doesn't see them and have them?
That's why I was trying to file an ex parte because he was threatening me and he told me which I have the text where that he was.
Well, what is he threatening you with? What is he threatening you with? What is he threatening you with?
Yep, he texted me and he said if I cause any problems at court, he's going to go for the jugular this time. This was after he sent me all this stuff.
Okay, so stop. Let me make a point. If going for the jugular is getting an order for return of your children and suspending your parenting time, I don't know how worse it can get for y'all. Guys, with what's going on here, I don't know how much worse it can get. So let me go back to these photos and videos, sir, that you claim are not at your house.
Mm-hmm.
Before you respond, I want you to listen to me. The background of this house is either her house or yours. So unless she snuck into your house and took videos in your house, should the background of these videos be your house, you're not telling me the truth.
Okay.
So knowing that, what does his bedroom look like in your house? What's the bedspread look like?
The bedspread has Marvel comics. We sleep in the same bed. Marvel comics. I have a blue wall. I have a black.
Does he have bunk beds?
There's a bunk bed in another bedroom, in his bedroom.
Yep.
Okay.
And do you have tan walls and tan carpet or light tan, creamy tan carpet?
I have like a beige carpet, a light color.
Yeah. So does your house match her house? Because that's the background of these photos.
It does. Her house, her carpet's like the same color. But what picture?
She has stop, guys, stop. Dear Lord. Guys, so you're telling me she has a bedroom with a bunk bed, cream colored carpet, and tan walls just like you?
No, I said she had colored carpet same as me.
Okay. Do you get the point I'm making, Mr. Shalinsky? This is your house.
What is the picture of?
Of him puking in a bowl.
That it wasn't
pictures of him under a bed with an iPad. Pictures of him running around his underwear, puking in his underwear.
What's wrong with him being under the bed with an iPad?
You're missing the point. I'm not talking about credit. Stop. Don't correct me. Don't correct me. You're losing track here. Guess what? I listened to you. You just said she made up these videos. Stop. Do not argue with me. You guys are going to be in this courtroom. I'm going to ask you guys to be in here in person. You're not going to be remote. Stop talking over me. The point I'm making is you want to take it to another subject because I'm questioning on something you don't like, which is that you told me she made a whole bunch of fake videos and turned them into pictures. When in fact, now that you find out that, oh, wow, it's a video of my house, she really has these videos. So you must not be telling me the truth and you don't want to talk about it.
I didn't say that was my house. All I said is I have bunk
You said she made videos. It's not my house. I didn't videotape him puking. I didn't videotape these things. And he's puking in his bedroom in your house.
If he's okay, he gets sick through the year. Okay. This must have been like last year when he was throwing up or something. And I probably did take that. I think I remember now. He took a video of that in there. But there's another picture that she's got of him puking in a bowl of some, looks like eggs at her house that she was putting on the internet, and she showed her family.
What?
Now, when he was getting sick at my house, I was showing her, look, he's sick. He's sick. I'm telling her, I'm not like, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm like, he's sick. I took care of him. He's sick. Kids get sick. I take him to the doctor when he gets sick. I make an appointment for him. I don't understand if I took a video of him throwing up at my house, how that would even be a bad thing. The only inappropriate video I will.
Do you find it's normal to send a picture of your child puking to the mother?
I share what's going on in his life with her back in the past before she's this all.
Okay, stop. So ma'am, what's your position as to that? When did that video take place?
He sent that during the makeup parenting time. He did not give me no explanations on it. And he sent one of my son hiding from him and then running from him in the next video. And when I got my son back after that makeup parenting time, he had lost 6 pounds, which I can prove that because I took him to the hospital, and he had his doctor that I took him to prior because he was throwing up at Brian's. He does not get sick like that at my house. He does occasionally, but not as often. And Brian did not give me no explanation on him throwing up at all. He just sent the video, and he knows that stuff like that is going to upset me, and then I'm going to get all, emotional, like worried about my son. And that's when he calls the police at my house or whatever, to make it seem like I'm like just erratic for no reason. And there's always a reason behind it, but it's just that he never explained.
How many videos has he sent you in the last?
Oh my goodness.
60 days.
In the last days, he hasn't sent any. In the last 30 days, but prior to my parenting time getting suspended, he was sending them continuously, constantly, and they're almost always just not something. Okay. This isn't right.
So guys, why? Okay. So why I'm being so blunt is you guys start making enough allegations, and I'll make, CPS is going to get involved with both of you. So ma'am, I'm making points to both of you. And why I'm being so aggressive here and loud is that you guys are making serious allegations about each other, but you guys are not free from criticism. And I don't understand all these videos being sent to her, sir. And she's saying, I'm withholding my son because these videos. Now, ma'am, you have a disconnect between what you're alleging. In fact, in your motion, you send pictures of your son with swimmies on his arms and a fish swimmy belt on or around his chest to help him float. And you say that his heads are tied behind his back. They're not tied behind his back. He's got a band. He's got a band from the water park, and his hands aren't tied behind his back.
There was a live photo where there was a loud sound, and it appeared that it was, and I have it on my phone. And the one, it wasn't at all, but he just never sent any pictures of the water park. He just sent that, and he would send it over and over. I don't even know how many times he sent me that.
So sir, are you hearing her when she's Are you hearing her when she's saying, stop sending me videos and pictures all the time?
She never says that because they send her videos. Well, I don't send them anymore, but when I did send her videos and pictures, they were just of everyday things of me and him playing and doing cute things through the day. I don't send her any videos to hurt her. I've never sent her a video to hurt her. I don't hurt my son. I love him. I've been taking care of him since he's been born. Oh my God, she's lying to the court. Now I'd like
let me ask. Stop. So, ma'am, let me ask this. You just kept your son from his dad for several weeks.
Yeah.
If I were to reinitiate parenting time, why should I feel that you're not going to do it again?
I'm not going to do it because I know my son. I know I see the harm that this is causing my son. I know how much it's hurting him. A couple times I've gotten to speak with him. He's said that to me, and I'm not going to. I'm gonna. If anything does come up, I will handle it through the courts the proper way, and because this is obviously hurting him a lot worse. Are you guys currently talking with a child protective service worker? What's the status of any investigation with child protective services?
No CPS. No CPS has contacted me like she said they did. No CPS. She made that up. She lied. CPS is not.
Well, guys, stop.
I'm just answering.
So, guys, how is guys, stop arguing and talking. So how is it that you guys haven't called CPS? Why haven't you? This is one of those situations. Why haven't you called Child Protective Services? Either one of you. Why have
Can
you
I-
both not called
I
Child
have
Protective
workers.
Services?
Can I answer? Who answers?
No, okay, go ahead. You first and she second.
Okay. I
Yeah.
have called CPS many times on her over the last 3 years. I have put motions in front of you in November. Prior to that, CPS has taken her kids away from her 3 times in the last 10 years. They've been gone a year and a half each time. She has extensive CPS history, abuse, of drugs, okay? Now,
Well, sir,
okay,
well, you have custody, Mr. Shalinski. You have custody, which is why you have custody.
I have custody. CPS at this point does not get involved with her. The
Oh
policeman
my God.
called CPS when they noticed her smash TV and the Ketchup Incident. The police officer was in the house. He called CPS that last time.
Right.
Okay. Since then, there's no other CPS been called.
Ma'am, it does say that the police called CPS. You have not recently been interviewed by Child Protective Services?
So I was, and the conclusion of that call was that it was related to custody. That's what they told me. And I have the workers.
Have
names. I
you,
did
have
contact
you,
them.
when they came
Yeah.
to talk to you, so guys, when I say have you had contact with CPS, you guys have to take a breath and say, we didn't hear you, we're not sure what you're asking, because when you say, no, I haven't, and you really have, you guys either didn't hear me or don't understand the point. So when I say, have you had contact with CPS or called them, and you say no, you have had CPS involvement. So CPS came, law enforcement called them as mandatory reporters after this Ketchup incident. And the last time he came to court, that was noted, and it's fully on the record in the police report and the order to retrieve your child. Did you tell him at that time, make a complaint against him and say, listen, I'm alleging all this abuse and this is why I'm withholding my child? Did you make allegations against him as the custodian to CPS?
I did. Yes, I did, Your Honor.
And
There's been multiple.
So, okay. And so guys, I'm going to say the same thing that I've said to other people. And today it's a lot of cases with protective service involvement. Protective services is the body that can immediately come and remove children from the other parent. They have the power to do removal orders. This is the domestic court and we run really slowly, but if there's immediate threat of harm, abuse or neglect, they can enter a petition, have the kids removed from either one of you. So the problem that, to be quite frank, both of you have is she withholds your child in violation of parenting time. They go there, sir, and they don't remove from her. She's the non-custodian, but they say, you know what? No matter what the state of this house is, I'm a little confused. Law enforcement calls as mandatory reporters, but they get there and they don't remove your child. They say, you come to court. Then you come, I do an order suspending her time, having law enforcement. Well, that was before that. I take that back. But they're not finding her immediate threat of abuse or neglect.
Okay.
And ma'am, you're making stop. You're making these allegations about him punching your child and abusing him. You should be showing them all of these videos and pictures. And if they find this strange or bizarre, or some kind of, and you should be making the complaint. When neither one of you or both of you make complaints, and the protective agency in Michigan, and there's a lot of criticism there, I get it, but they're the ones who can make, when they don't act on either one of your complaints, there's a disconnect between what you're alleging to this court and what is finding to be true, which means either everybody's exaggerating or somebody's minimizing, or right now they're not getting it. But you guys have to realize there's a disconnect because, sir, when the police called them and you called them, they went there and they didn't say, you're the non-custodian, we're going to initiate abuse and neglect for the state of this house. And for you, they didn't say that. They said, go back to court and file a motion. Same thing for her.
Can I say one thing real quick?
Okay, go for it.
When she does not answer the door when CPS showed up. She did not answer the door when the police keep going there. All these police that show up there and have her to tell her to return my son, she won't answer the door anymore for 3 months, since March, all the way up until I finally got him back on June 15th. There were seven police officer cop cars there. She was not letting him go again. She violated your order. She violated Denning's order. Is she talking? I'm trying
Sir, stop. Guy,
okay.
Sir, I've heard the facts of this. I got the facts. I've heard it many times over. Ma'am, have you talked to them recently at all? Is he correct in that you just refused to talk to them? Have you talked to them?
Yes, I talked to them twice during the same worker, during that whole case. When she came to the house, I talked to her. She checked, she saw Brighton, she saw the house. I mean, I had to answer the door. If they are going to make a report, they would have to come in and see it, correct? Yes, I spoke with them, and I spoke with them while I was in the hospital. So I spoke with her on 2 separate occasions. And the one time I had my son, and she actually saw her son. So, yes, I did.
No, I talked to CPS. That didn't happen. Your Honor, she was in the hospital because she was on a drug binge for over 2 months.
Stop.
She was in a mental hospital. She went.
So, ma'am, stop. Ma'am, what's your current living situation? Where do you live? Where do you reside and with who?
Yeah, with my grandmother. It's me and my son. He's about to be 14, and my daughter, who's turning 15. And we are staying with my grandma right now.
So you have custody of a 15 and 14-year-old children.
Yes, I do.
And live with your
Yeah.
And that's your grandmother, not your mom?
No, not my mom. It's my grandmother. I'm in the process of. I'm looking at a couple of places to move.
What city? What city does your grandma live in?
Mm-hmm. In Romeo.
What city? And have you updated your address with the front of the court so we know where you're at?
Yes. Yes, right away I did, Your Honor.
And sir, do you know her grandmother?
Yes, I know her grandmother. She has a 2-bedroom trailer, and there are 3 adults and 2 children there. And her son is not 15 or 14. He's 12.
He's 14. I said he's going to be 14. He's 13, but he's about to be 14.
Okay. When she got evicted, she ran out of the house with my 5-year-old, and the police had to find her in the trailer park. While her 12-year-old.
I know the facts. Stop repeating yourself. I got it. I know your case up and down, unfortunately. Guys, when the court starts knowing you guys by name, that's not a good thing. We have 12,000 cases per judge. And that means if I remember you, that's not necessarily a good thing. I shouldn't see you enough to know who you are. When I start knowing it, it's not a good thing. When the judge and I know your name and your case, probably not a positive, just as an aside.
But I'm the one always putting the motions in because it's her violating the court orders for the 6th time. This in 2021, she didn't return them to me.
So you have custody. She has parenting time every other weekend. What do you want from the court?
She has every week, and she has custody weekends. She gets them on the weekend.
She has every other weekend, Friday to Sunday.
No.
And the alternate weekends on Sunday over from 1 to 6.
No.
Am I correct?
None of that's correct. A lot of the stuff that we've just gone through today is not even correct. Okay.
What?
Now,
I haven't.
he's talking to me. He's talking to me. I always get cut off.
Stop yelling at her.
I'm not. You're talking to me. Let me answer the question. She has him Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Every Friday and Saturday, not every other week. Every week. Okay.
When was that order? When was that order entered?
2020 in June was the order that was adopted.
I guys have your most recent order having been entered on November 23rd, 2021.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what that is. That in 2021 was when she violated for her 2nd time returning them to me. I went in front of a different referee, and she had to give me back my time. And when she gave me back my time, and then she got her time back, she withheld them immediately again. And I had to put another motion in. So that was October, and then one in November.
So ma'am, what is your understanding of the current parenting time schedule?
Yeah, I get them every Friday at 6 a.m. and then I return them every Sunday.
Okay, so every week, yeah.
Okay, and I've been bringing them to her and picking them up back months and months ago. She didn't have a car. We're supposed to meet at the police station, okay? But because she didn't have a car, just let me talk, Leah. Because she didn't have a car, I was bringing them to and from. And when I would go to pick them up, she would not give them to me. So I said, we're going to go back to meeting at the police station. And she stopped. Then she still wouldn't bring them to the police station. So I had to find
I got it. Well, it doesn't matter if she doesn't come to the house or the police station. It still doesn't happen. So it doesn't matter where the location is if it's not happening. So ma'am, we're going to get back to the point of how can I trust it took a bunch of law enforcement to get your child back after a month. You are now probably going to have another makeup parenting time order from the judge after you already got found in violation by Judge Dennings at the beginning of the year in order to make 53 days or so makeup parenting time. We now have another month where you refuse to come to court. You refuse to return your child to police officers. Why should I suspect that you're going to do it if I give you your parenting time back right now. Why should I trust
Yes,
you to like follow the orders when you chronically disobey them?
Yeah, if there is ever an incident where my son, where there's something that concerns me, I will contact CPS and go about it that way. If there's like an absolute emergency, that is the route I will take moving forward. I'm not going to withhold him. I see the effect it's having on my son. It's been 2 months since I've seen him, over 2 months, and I had him for about a week and a half actually. But I definitely will handle things a different way and
I
handle
thought
it the proper way. I'm not.
it's not been 2 months. They just got him back in July, right?
He got him back in June.
June
He
15th.
got him back.
I had to take him by
Okay.
force. I had to take him back by force, June 15th.
No, you don't do anything. The police assisted you.
No, they didn't. They were
Yeah.
trying. She wouldn't let him out of his arms.
Guys, stop. Guys, stop. Guys, just stop. Dear Lord.
I'm just answering questions.
You've answered them many times over with the same answer.
You're getting
I
all
don't
these
need, I don't need it repeated again. All right. So I think we've heard enough today. What do you think of her grandmother? Do you know where her grandmother lives, Mr. Shalinsky?
Yeah, I know where the grandmother lives.
And what's your relationship with her? Do you know her? Have you gotten along with her? You
Her
guys are together and
her
have two
grandmother
children.
loves me and tells me that I'm so glad that Brighton has a father like you, because Leanne is on
Okay.
drugs. Is either on drugs or
So,
mental.
so if she exercises her parenting time at her grandma's, you're good with that.
Not right now. I'm not. Like you said, I
Why?
do not trust her to
You
get
just
them
said
back.
you just said her grandmother loves you and she's awesome.
Yeah, I trust the grandma, but Leanne, her grandma's 85 years old. Okay, she's very old. Leanne can manipulate her grandma like she does everybody else, but I don't trust her to return him back to me. Grandma doesn't drive. I have a car. Okay.
Well, if she does it again, I'm sure the judge is not going to, things are going to get real bad real fast.
Okay, there's a show cause coming up in 2 days on her. She's going to go to jail.
That's a different situation that you take up with the judge. That's with the judge herself, and that is a different hearing than today.
All right, I got one more question. Okay.
Yep.
My son is enrolled I have him enrolled now in kindergarten. He just graduated from preschool. Okay.
Okay. I got you.
He missed his graduation because of her. He's missed dentist appointments because she won't return him. Now, when he starts kindergarten on the 6th of September, first of all, he's going to have to go to school on a Friday. So we have to change that. And I don't want her to show up at his school because she will try to pull him out when she's not supposed to. She's already ruined once my daycare with him there, showing up there. She ruined his doctor's visits where they said I couldn't come there because of things she was doing there. So we need to change.
That's not true.
Yeah,
Required to provide.
Stop, ma'am. So cut to the chase. What do you want from the court? What do you think her parenting time should be? Cut to the chase.
First of all, she needs to have supervised at the Phoenix house. I've already talked to the Mrs. Pfeiffer. She's very familiar with what's going on, and she says
Ms. Pfeiffer is a sport enforcement officer.
Yep.
She's not my boss.
I
On
know.
the food chain, and I'm above her. So don't tell me what Ms. Pfeiffer told you.
Well,
You're before me.
I want a supervised visits if Leanne gets them at the Phoenix house, I also want it changed so my son could go to school on a Friday, kindergarten. And that's
Why can't he go to school Monday through Friday? Why wouldn't he go to
Because
school? You're the
Friday-
custodial parent.
Right, because right now, Friday, she gets him at 6 a.m.
Well, we're changing that. That's not going to happen. He's got to go to school.
Yeah, he's got to go to school. So she has to, when will she get him? When things go back to normal, first of all, she needs to get drug tested on a regular basis. She needs to get, she needs to get a psychiatrist.
Guys, stop. I've heard all the arguments. I'm done. We're done. I'm making my recommendation.
I never even get to talk.
Oh, you got an hour to talk. So we're done. That's just foolishness. To say that you haven't been allowed to talk is foolishness.
You keep cutting me off. Is what
I know because you're not talking. You're just rambling, and we're not going there. This is my courtroom, my hearing. This is not a free for all. Till you vent all your whatever you want to say 10 times. I'm going to be blunt with both of you. You both have acted in very unusual and unacceptable manners.
I haven't.
And Well, take it up with the judge if you don't like my decision. I'm about to make it. Do not speak while I'm making it. All right. On a temporary basis, defendant mother is awarded parenting time pursuant to the 16th Circuit parenting time schedule, which is alternate weekends, Friday to Sunday after school to Sunday at 6, to occur at the residence of her grandmother, who shall supervise her parenting time. And ma'am, what's the name of your grandmother?
Jean, J-A-N, Tetro. Same last name as mine.
Jean, Jean.
Yep.
Tetro.
And then Tetro.
All right. So ma'am, you can't move out of that residence and exercise otherwise. If you move out, you still have to do your parenting time at your grandma's. Do you think she's willing to have you do your parenting time there?
Yes, she definitely is, Your Honor.
Are you sure of that?
Yeah, I'm positive of that.
All right. I'm going to indicate that the matter of ongoing parenting time is referred to the front of the court for investigation and recommendation. I'm going to put, in addition to the custody department, parties are also referred for review by Dr. Ross Beckley, with the custody investigator and Dr. Beckley conducting a conjoint appointment. So what does that mean? It means I'm going to have the court psychologist present during this investigation to give his clinical and analysis. So my custody investigators are masters in social work. He is a psychologist. So I'm going to have both of them, if they so choose, do their investigation together, the custody social worker and Dr. Beckley, so they don't have to double up and do two different appointments with you guys. They can do it together conjointly with the court psychologist and the investigator together for ongoing parenting time. As far as custody and parenting time, I'm going to deny the request for modification of custody as there not been a material change of circumstances. However, I am referring parenting time for investigation and recommendation. If you guys disagree with that and you disagree with me not referring custody, ma'am, guys, and sir, this is for you, Mr. Solinsky. If you don't like my parenting time schedule, file objections. I'm not the boss. I'm not the final say. If you really don't like what I've done, file objections, get before Judge Dennings, who you're going to see at the enforcement hearing. That's who you also see on objections to this. And she's the boss. If you don't like what I recommend, file objections and see the boss. Does that make sense to both of you?
Yes. When does this take place?
It takes place immediately. So the next alternate weekend, and when did you've had your son back for over a month now, right? Is that correct?
2 months.
Yes, I
Over
have.
2.
I've had him. Yeah, I've had him. She's been on a drug bender and she's finally got her act together. Now we're in court.
Sir, unless you have proof that she's on drugs, I don't know where you're getting that from.
I sent you the proof.
I'm going to put this. I'm going to put this. Guess what? 3. Number 3. Both of you can go get a 9-panel urinalysis drug test within the next 24 hours at a JAMS location, with the results being provided to the custody investigator. So you can both go to a JAMS location. They're probably $20 now. You both get to go, because I don't think some of the behavior both of you exhibit, I find to be unusual, to put it lightly. So you both get to go get a drug test within the next 24 hours at a JAMS location. And I'm going to tell you both that a dilution element, if detected, is considered a positive. So if people take any kind of thing to try to wash drugs out of their system, it shows up. Defendant's next alternate weekend shall begin the weekend of Friday the 18th. Is your grandmother available this weekend? Do you think she's cool with this weekend?
Yes, definitely. She is.
All right. And ma'am, you don't have transportation? Do you need Mr. Solinsky to do the transportation, or you have transportation?
Oh, yes, I've gotten transportation. My transmission went on my previous car. I've already gotten it.
All right. So then you'll do the transportation. All right.
What is, Your Honor? Your Honor?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. We have a court date in 2 days. I'm suspecting she's going to go to jail. Now, what if she goes to jail?
Take it up with the judge. Show Judge Dennings my order. Show it to her.
No. I mean,
she's my boss.
So she won't have him Friday on the 18th then, because she'll be in jail maybe.
Sir, did you hear me?
Kind of.
Take the order, show it to Judge. on Monday. And Judge Denny's, if she doesn't like my order or she's going to put her in jail, she'll decide what to do. Does that make
Right.
sense?
Yeah.
Show Judge Dennings and Ms. Pfeiffer, your parenting time enforcement attorney, show them the order I entered today. In fact, I'm going to forward it to Ms. Pfeiffer so she has it. So if you forget, she can show it to the judge. How about that? All right.
Okay.
So
All right, guys.
Is that
That's
the police department?
no, you guys got to pull up. You guys got to pull up the 16th Circuit parenting time schedule. That's like 6 o'clock at night.
Oh.
It's not during the
Okay.
morning.
What?
Pull up-
I'm
Okay.
confused.
You know
What are
what,
you
Will?
talking about?
We're going to email. We will email you a copy of the 16th Circuit schedule with this order. How about that? We're going to email you a
That'd be
copy
great.
of it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Okay.
If either one of you don't
Thank you, Your
agree,
Honor.
please avail yourself of the right to object.